Alright, taking a little break from my travels for now, but I wanted to introduce Richard Green, aka Turtle Sage. He is an interview I did passing through St. Louis. He is a martial artist, an aspiring linguist, and just an overall awesome individual. Hopefully you learn a lot from this interview, and hopefully you enjoy yourself. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to the Chronicles of the mhcnomad, say mhcnomad yourself, John Ross. And this is my friend Richard Green. Hello. Full disclaimer, we met on Facebook. This is the first time we've actually seen each other in person. No lie. You just saw my last video when I was in Oklahoma City. Now I'm in St. Louis on my way to Chicago, but you know I had to meet the martial arts master, also known as Turtle Sage.
Ni hao.
Also a budding linguist.
Yes.
We'll definitely get into some of that.
Yeah.
So, I want to know, first and foremost, how did you get into martial arts?
Well, long story short, two catalysts. One, I grew up watching Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, so there's that. I wanted to be like, my favorite childhood heroes. And the other one was, I'm into nerdy stuff, so I get bullied, talk proper, do things that don't involve basketball or football.
I can relate to that all too well.
Yeah. So, folks think they can shove you around, and I'm not the biggest guy in the world, so.
Keep going.
Martial arts was that allowed me to defend myself and plus, explore my true masculine side, fighting.
Or perhaps we think because we both used to live in Texas,
Yeah.
the words of UGK tell them something good,
Yeah.
but ain't a lot of talking involved, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So, yeah.
Shout out to UGK, of course. Shout out to Texas.
And speaking of Texas, that's where I really got into it. It's a large Asian American Pacific Islander community there. My kung fu teacher from Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, where did you live?
Dallas.
Dallas. No, which part of the Dallas area?
Plano.
Okay, so for those who don't know, that's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is the fourth largest metro area in the country. Plano is in the northern suburbs, and the northern suburbs are heavily Asian. So it's good for cultural context because, and that's where UT Dallas is, one of my old partners. Shout out to UT Dallas, whoosh. But that's how he met his instructor, was in the northern suburbs.
Yes. In fact, I actually went to school with his daughter. Yeah, and we were in history class, and she's a bad test taker, and I've always been a big fan of history. So I know a lot about American history, and I helped her study her test. And one day we were meeting at a coffee shop, very similar to this, and she said she was late because she had kung fu. I'm like, you know kung fu? and I'm like, I want to know.
Big guys.
Yeah. It happened just like that. Then it's like, my dad's a teacher. You're having an open house. You should come. And I went to the open house, and it was like everything you've seen in like Jackie Chan or Jet Li movie, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but no wires and real.
Oh, that didn't freak you out at all?
Oh, it did. Because at one point, I saw, the swords and the flips, but I also saw somebody lay down on a bed of nails with cement blocks on their chest and take a hammer to their chest while holding that and get up without a scratch on them. And then I saw one guy take rebar, like, if you've ever worked construction or seen construction with metal rods, stuck them into his throat and bent them.
Ooh.
So, there's different martial arts around the world, but I wanted to learn that because this is beyond Ninja Turtles. This was Iron Fist. This was like Luke Skywalker, Yoda, something like that.
And as somebody, because I graduated with a master's in mechanical engineering from UT Dallas, so whenever I hear rebar, and I also worked in construction as well, doing day labor, so whenever I hear rebar, I hear something really, really, really hard that you don't want to trifle with.
Yeah. And these people were so high level in their abilities. Even now, it seems like sorcery to me, and I've been in it for almost 2 decades straight. And I learned something new every day. Like, I was cleaning my house earlier and just discovered like 5 different applications with what we call white snake sticks out tongue, which on my YouTube channel, it's okay if I add that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Turtle Sage on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. I have
You gotta ask.
I have a tutorial playlist called How to Food, where I teach different kung fu moves, but this move is from the snake style of kung fu. And I have 5 different applications just to do something like this. So yeah.
And of course I'll link his channel in the description so you can access it.
Thank you.
No, okay, so the name Turtle Sage, where'd you get that from?
That I was also a fan of Dragon Ball Z. So Master Roshi in Japanese, they call him Kame Sennin, which literally means turtle sage or turtle. They call him the Turtle Hermit, based off of the old Chinese tale, Journey to the West with the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. And so, like, I just identified he was the only human who could beat the protagonist. Well, he's one of like 2 or 3 humans that could be the protagonist, who is a cosmic alien in hand-to-hand combat. And so I respect the underdog. I respect what a normal man can do, take it to the nth degree. And that's what martial arts does for me.
That's yours, definitely one of the perpetual underdogs.
Yes. The educated lame, as they say.
In the words of Redman, be that.
Right.
Well, and that was very interesting because I know with me, I had the same issues with bullying growing up. But when I was in martial arts as well, the number 1 rule of martial arts is discipline.
Yes.
And fighting is actually a last resort. If you're an instructor, and he's way more advanced than me, and he'll tell you the same. Your instructor caught you like bullying someone or using it inappropriately or too much force, he's going to have your head.
Yep, and even when I teach children, I get on them about that. I always tell them, you break your partner, that's it. You only get one.
You break your partner, I break you.
Yeah, I get winner. that curbs a lot of horseplay and shenanigans.
Yeah, and the thing is, especially when you're doing, because when you're practicing, you're doing things that can literally kill people.
Yes.
And that's not just even the striking, because I have like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu experience. And the choking,
yes,
you gotta know how to let go, or you can't do it too fast, or they won't be able to tap out in time.
Right.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, it's essentially, you can't go full anaconda on them. Because that's essentially what you're mimicking.
So then, how do you instill that sense of discipline to the people that you teach? Because when you're watching TV and you're watching the Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles, you always want to do like the cool stuff. You always want to show off. How do you instill the discipline into this?
Well, I always start them out with the basics. It's not 3 easy lessons and you can do 1-inch punch. It doesn't work like that. No, you got to do your horse stance. You've got to do your standing meditation. You've got to do your bone conditioning. You've got to do your stretching. You got to do a lot of boring stuff. You got to do a lot of basic drills. Then you pick certain techniques and you work those techniques in a controlled fashion. And then, sparring, obviously, light sparring. And it's almost kind of like tag.
Now, what is sparring?
Essentially, you're practicing controlled violence. And it's a good way to refine your technique also burn calories because fighting burns a lot of calories, and hence, it's I always have a saying: control is power, and power is control. So if you can do the move with the feathers touch slowly, you can do it lightning fast and hitting like a falling like a comet or a meteor.
Which makes a lot of sense. Because it's about easing into it.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Power Rangers. What's your favorite Power Ranger?
It always came down to these two. Zach, the Black Ranger, gotta represent.
Yeah, the Black Ranger.
Hip Hop Keto, and Tommy, the Green Ranger, because he always got the coolest weapons. But as an adult, I respect Jason, because Jason defeated the most bad guys on his own.
Which one was Jason?
He's a Red Ranger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's a leader, and he's decisive, and he's actually the best fighter. Well, scratch that. He was the strongest fighter with the best overall simplistic technique, whereas I would say Zach had the prettiest technique. Like, I look at his old videos now, oh, write that one down. That's a good one.
And then who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
As a boy, it was Michelangelo, because I obviously, if you didn't get, yes, yeah, I goof off, crack jokes, spacey, and he's naturally the best fighter because he uses a changed weapon that it requires precision and timing and control. But as an adult, Leonardo and Donatello, because I'm a budding techie.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah, I'm trying to study technology, computers and all that, but Leonardo, because discipline. He's a leader, he's a strategist.
Better him than me. I mean, I avoid tech as much as I can, although for some reason with my last thesis, I ended up doing I ended up using analytics for my thesis, so like, I keep trying to get away from it, but then it keeps back in.
Right. Control the infrastructure, you control the society.
Or not to mention, even when it comes to basic calculations, it just does it so much faster when you program it than when you try to do everything by hand.
So, like, I could function in a futuristic society, but if everything fell apart and everybody ran out of guns, I'd become king of Tower Grove.
So, if I can ask you though, because as you know, I have a passion for a lot of things. Public health. Yes. This is my last week. I'm graduating next week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, how do you think martial arts helps with public health?
Oh, that's a good one. First of all, I've never seen a fat Shaolin monk. The closest thing to that was Sammo Hung, and he's not a Shaolin monk, but still, it's a good way to keep you in shape, if nothing else. I do martial art. I do several different martial arts. One in particular called Tai Chi Chuan, and it translates in English as the Grand Ultimate Fist. Why do they call it the Grand Ultimate Fist? Because it's not also just fighting, it's self-cultivation. So it's good for your brain function, i.e. when you're always concentrating and focusing, your mind has purpose. It's the same as like learning a language or doing a crossword puzzle or doing Sudoku, things like that.
What's Sudoku?
It's that number game where you try to match the numbers up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's also good for things like arthritis. It's good for dealing with stress. As black males, stress is our number one killer. We have heart problems and everything else that contributes to that. Certain types of cancers. If you relieve stress, relieve tension, meditate, Zen, as they say, calm disposition.
Remember Bad Boys, Wusa.
Yeah, exactly. you have that. Obviously, you practice good health, you exercise, you sweat, but then you meditate, you clear your mind, you clear your thoughts. You let go. You worry about really what is important. You know, like again, I bring up the Shaolin Temple. They take vows of poverty, celibacy, etc. And I think they don't eat meat.
They're vegetarians.
Yes. They live the Buddhist lifestyle. They dedicate their lives to helping others and achieving enlightenment. And Kung Fu, Shaolin Fist is a pathway to that. Now, everybody's different. Some people go to the dark side, but then at the same time, if you dedicate your life to bringing others joy and helping other people, it's good for your psyche. Good for your psyche. It's good for your, as they say, it's good for your soul. And with that, it's less stress because you ain't got to look over your shoulder all the time. And again, you hold off bandits from a town. You're going back to the ancient world. You become a hero. You teach people your ways. Hard work over time. You strengthen your body, you strengthen your mind, you strengthen your spirit. You're less prone to disease and obviously anything that's related to stress.
I gotta ask you, so I know there are times winding down. I do have to get to this point.
Yes.
你会说中文吗？
是的，我会说中文。I'm learning that I'm not as good as him.
I just asked if he spoke Chinese.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
And he said yes.
Yeah. And because I do Chinese martial arts, I do obviously Tai Chi, but I also do another martial art that's from Shaolin called Mishong, Lost Trail, Mishong Lohan, the Lost Trail Fist of Buddha. Basically, it's a northern Shaolin style. Split that up to really split hairs. Shaolin, you have northern arts, you have southern arts. Northern arts are really acrobatic, really favor like kicking, high kicks, flexibility. Southern arts, they're really good with their hands. Like a southern art would be like Hung Bar or Wing Chun, like what Donnie Yen does, or Bruce Lee. 5 animal styles, that's what Jackie Chan does. But Jackie Chan also does a northern style called Drunken Fist. Other northern styles would be like Eagle Claw, Northern Mantis, Monkey. And I do another one of that, the one that's in that style, Mishong. That is the style of a famous martial artist known as Jia. He's a famous martial artist in the early 20th century. Bruce Lee did a movie.
Pronunciation's good, man.
Oh, thank you. Shit.
Catchy. Keep going.
He did a movie basically avenging his master called The Chinese Connection, Fist Theory in China. And Jet Li did a movie called Fearless, where he plays that guy who is Bruce Lee's teacher in that movie, Jia. So, and he didn't create it, but he came from Shaolin, but he was the most famous master. And so, that's the one I learned.
Pretty good. And it's really interesting because even the northern and the southern dichotomy continues to stay.
Yes.
Because if you go to, and you've been to China before, right?
Yes, Beijing.
Yeah, so, and Beijing is a quintessential northern city.
Yes.
And if you go to
It really
Beijing,
means northern city.
yeah, it literally means northern capital. But if you go to like Beijing versus say Nanjing, which is the southern capital, you see that dichotomy, and it's like the north and the south here in the United States.
Yep.
North and south there is another thing. And even interestingly enough, they had a civil war. It's called the Taiping Rebellion, where it was the north versus south.
Yep.
So many parallels between American culture and Chinese culture. It's crazy.
Yes.
Well, so we're almost out of time now, but I wanted you to go ahead and shout out all your channels.
Okay.
All your projects, everything.
Okay. You can find me on YouTube and just type in Turtle Sage. There's a cartoon avatar of me holding like a sword. And done by a good friend of mine, James Burton. He's an artist, but yeah. You can find me on Instagram, Panther Ninja. Doing martial arts there. I share a lot of the same videos there. So those are, and just look me up on Facebook, Richard Green. Yes, I do. I share a lot of the videos there. I'm trying to grow my channel because eventually I want to open my own school, but I'm late journeyman status, so it is what it is. Thank you.
It's however long it takes. So again, this is actually my first interview, so
Cool.
I really feel honored that you were able to do this. And please forget the noise. We're in a coffee shop, but the coffee shop is more than gracious. The name of the coffee shop here is actually called Sweetwater's Coffee and Tea. It's in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're ever in the area, please drop by. Great tea, great stuff. And of course, if you're in the neighborhood, maybe you can connect with the Turtle Stage here. And other than that, we'll have to do this again, but absolutely, positively, thank you very much. And in the words of Sun Tzu, always strive to advance your position. Have a good day.
再见。
再见。